This is the double stroke roll. Now, with every rudiment, I'm going to start from the very beginning as if you've never really played rudiments before. So, the thing that I like to impress upon younger students or students who are just starting off is that do not think of this as a roll. When we get to the speed where you can play your double strokes that fast, it's going to sound like a roll, but don't even think about that as you're starting to play alternating double strokes. So all we're doing in our first rudiment that we did in tier number 1 is we started with alternating single strokes, right, left, right, left. This is alternating double strokes. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. So 2 strokes in a row on each hand. Now, the way the rudiment is always broken down in the videos is I start with the bronze level at the slowest tempo and then gradually increase the speed as I go through the different levels. If you did the single stroke roll, you kind of know what I'm talking about. The other thing that I do is I alternate starting on the right hand and starting on the left hand. Now, let me give you a few pointers over the double stroke roll, or alternating double strokes. First of all, we want everything to be the same sound. When you're at a very slow tempo, you want to think of your sticks as starting up and returning back to that up position. In a very slow tempo, it's almost like windshield wipers. Jong, 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 jong. First one hand, then the other. So I'm listening for the sound. Double, 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 double. And I want to make sure that I'm getting both strokes out with my wrist. Now you might have noticed I switched pads from the single stroke roll to my reflex pad. So the reflex pad is going to give you less of a bounce. So when we're just starting off, I really want to work our wrist motion, almost to the point where you don't even want to start off on a pad. You really probably want, if I can get my sticks to stay in one place, how about I put them over here? You start off to a point where you just play double strokes with your hands, either on your legs, on your big fat tummy, or maybe your six-pack abs, whichever you have. I want really big sounds. When I ever started beginners on the alternating double strokes, we didn't even have our sticks in our hands. We just did it with our hands. And you can do this anywhere. You can do this watching TV. You can do this when you're waiting in line, when you're on the bus, when you're wherever. You can work on your double strokes because we're getting that coordination of our muscles playing double, 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 double. You can do that in the air without making a sound at all. But I like to do it on a surface where I can hear it. And I'm listening to it, and I'm hearing that I want to hear that double, 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 double. I don't want to hear the first note loud and the second note soft. You can hear it's a double stroke, but my first one stroke is loud, and then I'm kind of having a weak second stroke. So I really want that double to come out. So your goal here, start off with that bronze level and play it with your hands on your legs, or you could take your sticks and play it on a pillow, or you can take your sticks and play it on a soft surface practice pad. You can go right to the heavy hitter pad or a drum that has a lot of rebound, but you're really going to get a lot of good muscle development by playing really strong, a lot of velocity, good amount of force, so we get a big motion. behind every double. Now, as I speed up, you're going to see me use a little bit of arm on the stroke motion. So what I'm doing here is I'm thinking double, 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 double. So it's one stroke, but I'm getting two wrist motions with each stroke. So it's not trying to go as fast as I can, but trying to relax that motion in my hands. Double, 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 double. You probably see that better if I did it with my sticks. See how my hand is just going up and down in that one motion, but I'm getting two wrist strokes out of it. An exercise I like to do with my really young students is to have them play 4 singles, 4 doubles. That way we get that motion going with our big strokes and with the double wrist stroke of our secondary stroke of the double. All right, now as you move faster, then it becomes important that you learn how to bounce the stick. So there's only a certain speed that you can get, and you can probably get pretty fast. I know drummers who can play really fast without any bounces whatsoever. Yeah, not always great, but I can almost play fast enough that it sounds like a roll with just my hands, and I certainly could do it with my sticks on a very soft surface. But you want to be able to start learning how to bounce the stick. Now, this is the first thing. What I really encourage you to do is go through your double strokes as fast as you can get your double strokes. Go ahead and learn the multiple bounce before coming back and doing your double bounce. You're going to learn to push the stick into the head. You're going to learn the fulcrum pressure. You're going to learn a whole lot of things by using the multiple bounce, practicing the multiple bounce first, and then come back and do the double bounce. It becomes really simple. Now what I'm doing in the double bounce is I'm pushing the stick towards the head. I have a little bit of pressure in my fulcrum to get the stick to bounce. So with a multiple bounce, I'm pushing the stick into the head. So you really should work on that first, especially if you're a right-handed player working on your left hand, working on that multiple bounce that we'll do in the multiple bounce video. But then with the double bounce, I try to relax the fulcrum. So a little bit less velocity, speed, and force on the stick. So I don't want to pound the stick because then I'll get two bounces or two notes that are very, very close together. So if you hear double bounces this fast, couple of things that are going on to make it sound that condensed is I've got too much pressure in my fulcrum. I am using too much force and too much velocity, too much speed of the stick. So all you have to do is to open those up. If you're hearing this and it's too quick, relax the hand, relax the fulcrum, relax the speed of the stroke, and don't try to play as loud. The more I relax, the more the bounce opens up. Now, even though I'm going incredibly slow here, it's still one stroke and a bounce, not, right? So the key is to learn how to bounce the stick. So what I really recommend that you do, 4 and 4 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double, 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 double. 1, 2, 3, 4. And don't forget about that left hand. 2, 3, 4. Double, 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 double. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce, 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 bounce. especially on your left hand. If you are a right-handed player and you haven't been playing for very long, your left hand is probably really weak and really awkward. That's okay. What we're doing is we're training, we're opening those neurons, pathways in our brain that are firing, telling our muscles how much pressure to use. And this is what's great about working on the rudiments very slow. Every time I do this, every time I do it correctly, there's a neuron that fires into the frontal lobe of my brain, and it's telling it, oh, use a little bit more pressure. Oh, use a little bit less pressure. Oh, I think you're hitting too hard. Oh, I think you're hitting too soft. All of those things are going on in your brain, and pretty soon that pathway is opened up in your brain. It's telling your muscles, we call this muscle memory, telling your muscles, yeah, that's it. You got it. Now just do that 1,000,000 times. And it's like creating a path on in a forest. If you walk that path 1,000,000 times the same direction, you will pretty soon have a very worn path, all right? And you don't even have to think about it anymore. All right, so then you go through and play 4 and 4, but alternating. Okay, you can hear I'm making it really obvious that it's 4 singles and 4 bounces, not 4. All right, you can do that, especially at that very slow tempo, but eventually to get faster, if I really want those nice, great sounding double bounces, then I have to make sure that I'm bouncing the stick. All right, so that's going to get you through the first few levels, probably bronze. Once you get into silver, you're really going to be depending on bouncing the stick and not trying to do double strokes. Once you get into the gold level, we're playing rolls. Now rolls, as you get faster, there becomes a little bit more of a pumping motion in your arms, all right? Now you want to try to not do too much. You certainly don't want it to all be arms. You want to try to isolate it in your wrist as much as possible, but if you try to do too much, it becomes really stiff and there's too much tension. So just relax, let it flow. All right, so as you get to a faster tempo, let it flow. Remember, starting on the left hand. If you have problems starting with your left hand, put your right hand on your leg, play along with that play along track. Boom, chicka ba, chicka boom, chicka ba, chicka boom, chicka ba, chicka boom, chicka ba, chicka. And start feeling where that downbeat lies, all right? Once you get that feeling, it's pretty easy to play nice, even rolls. All right? Faster that you go, once you get into the advanced stages of the highest level of gold and platinum, what you're really doing here is squeezing at your fulcrum. I like to move my thumbs back a little bit so that I have a 3-pointed fulcrum, which is a little stronger than a 1-pointed fulcrum. So almost like a triangle between my thumb, first finger, and middle finger. So I have a 3-point fulcrum. And I'm really pumping my arms as I get faster and faster. And of course the sticks are really low to the head. So as you work through this rudiment, remember, the important part is starting very slow, working on your double strokes. Use your hands on your belly, on your legs. Use your sticks on a soft practice pad or a pillow. Then learn your bounces. And eventually you'll get to that point where you can play double strokes faster than you can play slow bounces, and you mesh those two, which becomes the hardest part about playing the open, close, open, is to be able to play it smoothly to where it gets faster with double strokes and then turns into a bounce without you being able to hear it. All right, so really work on your double stroke roll, slowly at first and then gradually speeding up.